Hi, I'm Hazel, and this is a guide to the Stratholme Pet Dungeon of patch 8.2. We'll look at what you can get if you do it, how to get started, and the teams that I use. There's a lot to unpack here, so if you're looking for a specific strategy or answer, I've got timestamps in the description and pinned in the comments for you. So first up, why bother? What's in it for you? The number one thing that you'll get is the ability to teleport to Stratholme from Manapoof. For Horde, you could already kind of get up here via Undercity, but Alliance had a real hike to get this far north in the Eastern Kingdoms. After you've finished your first run of the Stratholme Pet Dungeon, you can visit Manapoof either at the pet vendor of your BFA capital or just Legion Dalaran. The pet vendors are kind of out of the way, so I like to just use my Dalaran Hearthstone and then pop into the shop to use the teleports. If you're farming regular Stratholme for the mount, that's nice to have. And when you get that, they'll also give you an ultimate battle training stone. And of course, you'll also get some pets. Your first successful challenge run will get you an achievement and the Mini Mancer pet. On top of that, there's 4 more pets to collect on the new Stratholme Pet Vendor in exchange for cleansed remains. You can get a guaranteed 1 cleansed remains token per week for your weekly clear of the dungeon. To get started, you'll need to be level 120 and have at least 1 level 25 pet, but you will want to have more. Also, patch 8.2 needs to be live, so chill your motors if that hasn't happened yet. What you're seeing is all from the PTR. Now currently, you do not need to have done any of the previous pet dungeons. Again, it's PTR, so that could change, but if it follows the trend set by Gnomeregan, you should be fine doing this without clearing any of the earlier dungeons. If you're Alliance, head to the pet shop over here in Hook Point at Borealis. For Horde, go here in Dazar'alor. If you've ticked all the boxes, you should see a quest. Grab that and get yourself out to Stratholme up here in the northern eastern kingdoms. You'll have to run yourself out there the first time. As Horde, I'd fly from Undercity. As Alliance, you're looking at porting to the Twilight Highlands and then flying a ways, unless your side controls Arathi, in which case you can use the Warfront portal. Next, pets to bring. This dungeon is pretty easy, so I say try it with what you have. If you're looking to beef up your lineup, go for critter damage. Shockingly enough, Stratholme is plastered with undead pets. You'll also see the occasional magic and dragonkin, so sprinkle in a little dragonkin and humanoid, but for the most part, just grab your critters and wing it. On the screen, you'll see a list of every single pet that I used. On this side are the pets that had a specific purpose, movesets and stats that counter specific fights. There's still lots of alternatives for them, but they're generally here for a reason. On this side are what I'm calling warm bodies. They worked great, but so would most things, so don't stress out about matching pet for pet. One tip, when picking backup pets and setting their moves, think about things to do during an undead pet's invulnerability round. Critters with Bleat are nice since they can top up the team, larvae have burrow to set up damage for the next pet, that kind of thing. Alright, let's begin. There's 11 fights to the dungeon, and it's a rather linear experience. Belchling is first, and for this just bring something with dragonkin damage and over 260 speed. I used my Crimson Whelpling with Breath, Healing Flame, and Liftoff. Pop in 2 backline pets, I used a skunk and a spriteling, but whatever you got. For the strategy, just spam Breath until Belchling dies. After that, heal when you want, swap if you want, do whatever you want. This is not a challenging fight. The backline will be randomized, so yours may not look exactly like this, but I bet you'll be just fine. Second fight is the Sludge Belcher from whence Belchling came. Any 3 critter damage pets will do it. I picked out 3 that all had Stampede and then 1 more critter damage move, so I've got the Young Talbuk, Nuts, and the Little Black Ram. Loads of pets fit those criteria though. Start it up and use Stampede. He'll swap you out to your lowest health pet, where you use your critter attack twice and then Stampede again. The idea is Stampede to get the debuff up and then just chomp into it. It works great. He likes to swap your pets around, but that just means you're not stuck stampeding as long. After that, we fight the Crypt Fiend. This is another just use critters moment. You could probably get away with reusing what's left of your Sludge Belcher team. I'm going to use the Drustwar Piglet with Hoof, Cute Face, Mudslide, Tap Tap with Hoof, Stench, Cute as a Button, and the Wolpertinger with Scratch, Sleeping Gas, and Headbutt. I'm going to open with Mudslide, spam Hoof until the Crypt Fiend dies, and then use Cute Face on the undead round. Carry on and clean up the backline. Fourth up, we have the Wandering Phantasm. In my first slot, I'm using a Speed Breed Snowshoe Rabbit. Any rabbit over 334 speed will do it. Moves are Flurry, Dodge, and Burrow. For cleanup, I'm using an Anubisath Idol for humanoid damage and a Wild Crimson Hatchling for dragonkin damage, since the rabbit can sort out any undead backline. Start the fight and use Dodge, which will avoid his Curse of Doom and prevent Haunt. Handy. After that, spam Flurry until it dies, and then Burrow on the undead round. Clean up the backline and you're good to go. For Fight 5, we have another boss, Liz the Tormentor. My strategy here can be summed up in 3 words: Tail Sweep Dragons. any of them. I used these 3 because of their attack stat, but you can just search your journal for tail sweep or even just dragons and pick anything. Start the fight and make friends with that tail sweep button. If you press it enough, you win. Now fight 6 is a unique one, and this can actually trip you up if you're not careful. We're fighting the Plagued Critters, which is a mix of great quality critters and undead. The catch is that there's 8 of them. They'll just keep backfilling until you've killed 8. For this, I'm using a Gleamhoof Fawn with Nature's Ward, Hoof, and Headbutt. I put more deer in the backline with the same moves, but you could back it up with any pet with beast and or critter moves. The idea here is apply Nature's Ward on turn 1 and then refresh it during undead rounds. Use Headbutt if you're against a critter pet, and otherwise just spam Hoof. It takes a while, but you won't lose. The first deer brought me most of the way, and the second one just tidied it up. Next, we fight the Risen Guard, your garden variety undead with a backline. I'm breaking out some grubs. I've got my Jungle Grub and Terra Larva, both with Chomp, Acidic Goo, Burrow, and I threw in a Fosling in third for cleanup. Grubs work great on any of the undead fights in Stratholme. The strat is to apply Acidic Goo to get that debuff up, spam Chomp, and then use Burrow on an undead round. There's lots of grub and larva pets to choose from, they don't get enough love, and the punchiness of that combo gets you done with the fight pretty quick. Next is the Nefarious Terry boss, and he's a little tricky. He heals like crazy and does a lot of chip damage. I'm using a Blind Rat with Sneak Attack, Crouch, and Call Darkness, a Frostfur Rat with the same moves, and then an Armadillo Pup with Scratch, Shell Shield, and Powerball. I open with Call Darkness to cut his healing taken in half. Then I put up Crouch and start spamming Sneak Attack. Refresh Darkness on cooldown and otherwise fill with Sneak Attack. When it's time for the second rat, same thing. Keep Darkness up, Crouch once, and then Sneak Attack for damage. If the Armadillo Pup comes in, just maintain Shell Shield, Powerball until you're faster, and then spam Scratch and just hope you kill him before Darkness runs out. 2 rats should be plenty though. The mitigation from Crouch and Shell Shield is really important because it's also reducing his healing, which otherwise is out of control. So that sorted out Terry, and now it's time to hop into Sludge Belcher and do some unrelated vehicle stuff. This part is extremely mindless, which I guess is just good abomination roleplay. Anyways, spam your buttons, recharge your brain, and we'll be back to pet battling shortly. Once the courtyard is cleared, you fight Tommy and Huncher in any order you want. It does not matter in the slightest. We'll do Tommy first, and I'm just bringing out more larva. The strategy with these is exactly the same. Apply Acidic Goo if the debuff is down, otherwise spam Chomp. I really only needed the 1 larva. Now Huncher takes a little bit more finesse. I'm using a Sneaky Marmot in first with Chomp and Blinding Powder. I left the larva in the backline because why not, that'll work. With the Marmot, open with Blinding Powder. That'll avoid both of his big cooldowns. Chomp 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 and he's toast. Any rabbit pet would do the same kind of thing by starting with dodge if you're lacking in the Sneaky Marmot category. And that brings us to the final boss of Stratholme, Blackmane. He's a not that scary beast type boss, but watch out, when you kill him, he'll come back as a not that scary undead boss. Then he's done. I'm using Lil Bling and a few critter backups. I've got a rabbit and a grub, but as long as you've got critter damage, you'll be fine. With Bling, I'm starting with extra plating, then checking out a Make It Rain, and follow up with Inflation. The pony dies, comes back with a new outfit, and we do the same thing again. Extra plating, Make It Rain, Inflation. That gets us a good chunk through Undead Blackmane, and a few smacks with a critter finishes him off. And that's the main dungeon. Do that once a week for your cleansed remain tokens and collect the pets off the vendor. It seems pretty clear that Stratholme is tuned to be more forgiving than past dungeons. Odds are good that you already have what you need, or you'll be there with just a few more pets. However, there is one more thing that you can do if you've got the collection and you want to be done with the grind faster. So occasionally, you might find a pet battle world quest inside of the dungeon offering a bonus token. On the PTR so far, this was sometimes an option. One week there was a tamer, and the next week there was nothing. There's also multiple potential tamers it could be if there is one. Because those happen inside of the challenge run, just keep in mind that you cannot heal your pets. Once we've figured out what all of those fights are, I'll see if I can do strategy videos for those and then put links in the description of this one. Now, if I've done something wildly out of character and not gotten to that yet, I recommend checking wow-petguide.com for crowdsourced strategies. See what the smart folks are doing. Based on what I've seen so far, I expect these bonus world quest fights to be pretty challenging. Having said that, there's over 1,000 pets in the game at this point, so surely there's 3 that'll get each one done just fine. As far as who they'll be and how many options there are, tough to say just yet. We do know for sure that there's going to be a Postmaster Malowne tamer battle, since 8.2 is bringing the new Malowne achievement. You'll need to wait for a week when he's up in the dungeon and then beat him, but doing so will get you the new Burnout pet. So that's Stratholme. Bit dark in there. Maybe we can get Scarlet Monastery next, at least they had lamps. Thanks for watching, let me know what you think, subscribe if you want more, like if this helped you out, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye!